Hello students, today we are going to do the domain name system, which is one of the application layer protocol. We have the two types of application layer protocol. One which are directly used in as an application by application, or second is the supporting protocols, right? DNS is the one of the supporting protocol which maps the host name or domain name to the IP address, right? That is implemented in distributed database in a hierarchy of name server that we will see in the detail. It basically works on the principle of client and server. Client request for the domain name by domain name for its IP address, and after that domain name system will return the IP address on the basis of the your domain name, right? So these IP addresses are basically why we need the mapping each time. Actually these IP addresses are not static, they may be changed. For example, I have my business, I have one website xyz.com. In that case, xyz, I have my company name that I have purchased one domain on server A. After that, I have seen that server A is very expensive. I want to shift into the server B. So my domain name will be same, but my address, IP address will be changed due to change in server, right? So in that case, that is not static. We need the mapping each time whenever we use the domain name. We have the various type of domain. One is the generic domain. Generic domains are .com, .edu, .mil that can be used by anyone everywhere. These are the general generic domain. Second one is the country domain. In case of country domain, what we have the .in. .in means we have the India country domain, it belongs to the India. If we have the US, then country domain, that country belong to USA. If we have the UK, then it will be belong to the UK. Third one, we have the inverse domain. Inverse domain is little bit different. Actually, this is used when server received a request from the client and server has a list of authorized client, but only the IP address in the IP packet is stored. In that case, server resolved by the domain name that particular client is authorized client or not, to check the authentication of the client. Basically, reverse mapping is done. For that, for mapping we need some DNS record, right? How DNS record is maintained? In the starting of internet in 1990s, we talk about, there is a very less number of domains. In that case, it is stored in the individual computer, right? And that can be updated time to time from the master host file. In that file, what we have? We have the domain name and space. Like that, we have the name and phone number in our phone book, right? If you want to call anyone, then you search by name and dial it. Your name is mapped with the phone number and that phone number is dialed, right? So in that case, name and phone numbers are connected with each other, right? Like that, we have the DNS record in which name is mapped to the IP address. But now as the popularity of internet increased, in that case your solution is that your data is stored into the distributed way, where we are storing each in small part into the different system. This is used by the domain name system. How it is used, that we will do in the resolver. So first we will see what is the namespace. Namespace is a name given to the particular distributed, like for example you have the www.google.com, then .com is the one of the namespace, right? On namespace we have further Google is the unique name for that. We have the two types of namespaces. One is the flat namespace, another one is the hierarchical namespace. Flat namespace is like, if I am creating email ID in the Kite, for example, ABC is the person name, ABC is in the MCA department in Kite. After that, XYZ is in the HR department in Kite, right? So this is the flat namespace. There is a no structure, it is just sequence of character. So they are unique. It is difficult to maintain the uniqueness in that case. What is used nowadays? We are using the hierarchical namespace. Hierarchical namespace कैसे हो गया? Kite. In Kite we have the departments. In departments we have the employees. Like that structure. For example, we have the EDU server. In EDU we have the Kite, and like that we have the another education institutes also, right? This is the hierarchical namespace that is easy to manage. In domain name system, these things are managed with the help of the servers. We can say name server, right? We have the different type of servers. In servers, we have the top level server is called the root server. Root server does not contain any information about their delegate, you can say their junior servers, right? It just having the reference, keeping the references for that. It does not contain the actual information, it just have the address of that, right? In case of, after that, in root we have the zone. We have the server has authority is called the zone. Root ke baad we have the authority, or these servers are also called the authoritative servers, you can say. These are the zone server. Further we have the primary servers and secondary server. Primary server contains the information about the zone. I told you root will not store any information, right? Root has just reference. That references you can see stored in the primary server. Second type of server is the secondary server, which transfer the complete information about a zone from the another server and stores a file on the local disk. It will be updated with the help of primary server time to time. Now, how our request is resolved? How request is resolved? First, host, user or client request for to resolve, right? For example, I here write mcamoodle.kite.edu. After that, this request is resolved by getting the answer of IP address, right? This is done with the help of resolver. Resolver receives the mapping, interprets the response. After that, we will get the information. in this we have the two types of message, query or response. Host do the query, after that it will get the response, right? This is the in detail. Before going that, I will tell you resolving is done in two ways. One is the recursive, another one is the iterative. The way I am showing you, that is the iterative resolution. How iterative resolution is done? Host request to the name server, request to solve. Name server has the solution, then it will provide. If don't have, then it will go to the root name server. After that, root name server will, you see that mcamoodle.chi.edu, but root name server has just a reference of edu. It will tell you where to go to meet to edu. Then again we request, that is the edu server. We are talking about mcamoodle.chi.edu. It just have the information of the edu server. After that, you will go here, edu server. Edu server will give you the information about the kite.edu, where kite.edu will you get. It will give you the address of that to the name server. After that, name server will communicate to the kite.edu server. When it communicates with the kite.edu, then it will get the MCA Moodle here. Then it will return the answer that will be finally given to the host. Our problem is resolved, right? So what our client do? It first send the request to the local name server. If it does not found in database, then it is sent to the root name server. In turn, query will be given. If it is not solved, then it is given to the authoritative or intermediate server. Till our query is not resolved, we will go to the hierarchical name server, right? So this is the way we are doing the iterative mapping. First, local server will request to the root server. If we will not get, then we will go to the authoritative server. If we don't have the information from the authoritative server, then we talk to the destination server one by one. In case of recursive solution, what we do? Recursive solution, first request go on to the local server to root server to top level domain server. Domain server will communicate with the local server. For example, I request for mcamoodle.chi.edu. Here we get the information of edu server. Edu server will send to the chi.edu, where we get the information about the moodle.chi.edu. This is the way how they communicate with each other, right? First, after that, which protocol is used in DNS? UDP protocol is basically used, right? But somewhere TCP is also used. That we will discuss in next time, right? Thank you, students.